next method is the integration by substitution. So here in this we have done already in method 1 about the integration by term we have done. Now integration by substitution. The name substitution itself means you are replacing a function by another function. So for example, you have integral f of g of x is there. In the same integral, you have the derivative of the function g of x, that is g dash of x dx is also there, suppose. Then we write g of x as t, and then g dash of x dx becomes a dt. This is what the basic integral formula we are going to change in terms of t. So what are the steps involved in the substitution method is, step 1 is find the function g of x, where that means the innermost function whatever, where g dash of x is also present in the integral. So like that, suppose if you have cosine x here, so sin x should be present in the integral, then we can take of the substitution. Now substitute this t is equal to g of x, so that the derivative of t is g dash of x dx. Now reduce to basic integral. Okay, now solve the integral in terms of t. We have to solve the integral in terms of t. Once after getting the solution, what you have to replace back what we have taken g of x as t, correct? So replace t by g of x in the solution. These are the steps involved to solve an integral by using the method of substitution. Now let us take a problem now to evaluate integral of cosine of 7x plus 5 dx. So what we have to do here, just to take the substitution. What is the substitution here? Substitute t is equal to 7x plus 5. So when you differentiate this t, it becomes a dt, and the derivative of 7x is 7 dx, plus 5 is a 0. So now in the question you don't have 7 dx, you don't have 7 right here. So what we do here, we just divide by 7. We just divide by 7 in this. So what we get here, dt by 7 is equal to dx. So what we do now, we replace 7x plus 5 as t, and we replace dx as dt by t, so that it becomes a basic integral function. So let us now write down this as integral of cosine t dt by 7. It is 7. dt by 7 is the substitution, correct? So now cosine t dt by 7, I write 1 by 7 outside. Now we have already discussed how to remember the formula in the last video. So if you have any doubt, you please see, remember how to remember what is the logic to memorize the formula. Please see the first video. Now integral cosine t is what? Sin t. So it is 1 over 7 sin t plus the constant. Now what is t here? It is sine of, what is t? 7x plus 5 plus c. This is what called as the method of substitution. This is called, this is the solution. By using the method of substitution, you will get the solution like this. Now you have, suppose another problem, like the second problem. Let us take for example, you have integral of some x square into cosine of x cube dx is there, suppose. Then what we do here, we replace. Now here in the place of f of g of x, as I told you, inside function you have to take, and what is the derivative of x cube? It is 3x square. okay, leaves 3 but x square is present, right? So the substitution here is what? Substitute t is equal to x cube. Now what is the derivative of t? dt. What is the derivative of x cube? 3x square dx. Of course in the problem there is no 3, right? So we divide by 3, then we get on the right hand side it is x square dx. What we do now? We replace this x cube by t, and whatever this x square dx is there, right? So this x square dx we are going to replace by dt by 3. I hope you could understand. So now we will write in the basic integral formula as cosine of t, and x square dx is dt by 3. So I write this as 1 by 3. What is integral cosine? Integral cosine is sine. So it is sine t plus c. So the problem will be over when you replace what is t. T is what? X cube. So 1 by 3 times of sine of x cube plus c is the solution. I hope it's understood how to do by using the substitution method. Let us see some more problems on this. Let us have the third problem as integral of cosine square 2x dx is there, suppose. So to do this we should understand, we should know one formula, because there is no, if you remember the last video, there is no formula for directly integral formula for cosine square. The direct formula for square is only we have secant square and tan square. So secant square and cosecant square, but not for cos square. So what we do now, we write the formula as 1 plus cosine 2x over 2 is cosine square x. Now what is there here is cosine square 2x is there, not x here. So what we do now is we write this as, in the place of x you have 2x, right? So also in the left hand side also cosine 2 into 2, that means 4x over 2 is equal to cosine square 2x. I hope it's clear. See, when x is there, it is 2x. When the angle is 2x, then it becomes 4x. Is that clear? So this is what we are going to substitute now in this problem. So now how will you write this as? Integral of 1 plus cosine 4x over 2 dx. Now I can take 1 by 2 outside, and then integral of 1 plus cosine 4x dx. So that is 1 by 2 times of integral 1 dx means x, and integral cosine means it is sine 4x over 4 plus the constant. So this is what we need to do. I hope you could understand how to solve this type of problems. Here of course we are not using any substitution. Actually innerly we have done what is 4x is t, and then but already we know the formula directly we have done, right, like this now. So let us now go to do some more problems in this method of substitution. Let us take the problem as the fourth one. The fourth problem is integral of secant square of 3x plus 2 dx is there, suppose. Then what is the substitution here? The innermost function is what? T, 3x plus 2. So substitute 3x plus 2 is equal to t. So what is the derivative of 3x is 3 dx is equal to dt. Now you have dx, there is no 3 here, right? So divide by 3. So that gives you dt by 3. So now let us go to the integral and substitute these values. What we are doing here, we have replaced 3x plus 2 as t, okay, and dx as dt by 3. This is what we are doing now. So secant square t dt by 3 I will write outside of the integral. Now we have a direct formula for finding out integral secant square. I hope you remember. Integral secant square is tan t plus the constant. So what is t now? 1 by 3 tan of t means 3x plus 2 plus the constant. So this is the solution. I hope you could understand. So now let us go to continue with the problems. Suppose I have a function like this. The number is fifth problem. It is integral of e raised to 4x minus 1 dx, suppose. Then here is a very simple problem. Substitute the innermost is 4x minus 1 as t. Then 4 dx becomes dt. So what we need dx as dt by 4. So we write the integral as e power 4x minus 1 is what? T. This value is what? T. And this value we are rewriting it as dt by 4. So therefore we write e power t dt and 1 by 4 outside. So that is 1 by 4 times of integral e power t is e power t only, right? So it is e power t plus c. So it is 1 by 4 times of e power t means 4x minus 1 plus the constant c. So this is the way to do the problem by using the substitution. I hope it's clear. Now let us go to the next problem. The problem number is 4 is over, 5 is over. Now we are going to the sixth problem. The sixth problem is integral of x secant square of x square plus 1 dx. Now it's very much clear that innermost is x square plus 1 and the derivative of x square is 2x, so x is present there. So we can use the substitution method. So now what we are going to substitute here? Substitute t is equal to x square plus 1. So what is the derivative of x square is 2x dx. But there is no 2 here. So we divide by 2. So dt by 2 is x dx. So now we are going to substitute these values. X square plus 1 as t and x dx. This value we replace by dt by 2. So let us now see what it is. Integral of secant square x square plus 1 is t and x dx is dt by 2 means I will write outside. So the basic integral formula now we can use it. Integral secant square t is what? Tan t plus the constant. But what is t? T is given by x square plus 1. So half of tan of x square plus 1 plus c is the solution. I hope you could understand how to solve this. Now let us take some more problem. One more problem. Some more problems in the case. Integral of sine power 5 of x by 3 times of cosine of x by 3 dx. So now how will you do this? Let us put substitute. Now here you should understand one thing. Whenever there is a power like this, that function you are going to take as the substitution. Is it clear? When the power is there, that means the power sign derivative is cosine is present there. If you take cosine, you have to get minus sign, and that minus sign only is there, which you cannot be splitted it. So you are taking the substitution as sign where the power is there, so that cosine you can write it easily. So now substitute sine of x by 3 as the substitution. Now derivative of sine is cosine. So it is cosine of x by 3 multiplied by chain rule. What is the derivative of x by 3? Is 1 by 3 dx is equal to dt. So now we have cosine of x by 3 dx is present, not 1 by 3. So we multiply by 3 and write 3 dt, and this 3 gets cancelled. I hope it's clear. So now what is the substitution here? You are replacing sine by t, and you are replacing cosine of x by 3 dx as 3 dt. So now let us rewrite this as the basic integral formula. It is t power 5 times of 3 dt. I will write 3 outside of the integral, and that gives you 3t power 6 over 6 plus the constant. So 3 1s and 3 2s gets cancelled. And what is t? Is sine. So it is sine power 6 of x by 3 by 2 plus the constant. So this is the solution. This is the solution. So now let us go to the next problem, 8th problem. So now suppose integral of r square times of r cube by 18 minus 1 the whole power 5 dr is there. Then what we do? We take the substitute. Now again, as I told you, the power is where the power, that one you have to take. The power is 5 here. So we have to take this as the substitution. So let us take t as r cube over 18 minus 1. So then what is the derivative of r cube? R cube derivative is 3r square over 18 dr. And for minus 1 it becomes 0. So now 3 1s and 3 6s gets cancelled. So it will be r square over 6 dr. Okay. R square over 6 dr. Just let me rewrite. This is r cube dt is 3 r square dr over by 18. So 3 1s and 3 6 gets cancelled. And so it is what? R square. This is r square over 6 dr. Now we have only r square, not by 6, correct? So we write multiply by 6, and 6 dt is equal to r square dr. So this is what we got. So we replace r cube by 18 minus 1 as t, and we replace r square dr as what? 6 dt. So now we are going to write this as integral of the basic integral. Now that is what the beauty of the function, beauty of this substitution. Such a complicated, where you have r square, r cube by 18 minus 1 power 5 dr. This is looking like a very complicated function, right? But when you write this using the substitution, then this whole thing becomes t power 5. See, this r cube by 18 minus 1 is t, so it is t power 5, and r square dr we are writing it as 6 dt. Such a simple function, we write it as dt and write 6 outside. So what is the integral of t power 5? Is t power 6 over 6 plus the constant c. So that is 6 gets cancelled, t power 6. What is t? R cube over 18 minus 1 the whole power 6 plus c. I hope it's clear. R cube by 18 minus 1 is equal to c. So this is what the solution we get. R cube by 18 minus 1 the whole power 6 plus c is the solution. I hope it's clear all of you. And then let us now